Lots of local runners we have been able to find on the roster, from Nags Head to Suffolk to Virginia Beach to Norfolk. We've spoken to some, and Stephanie Harris has another one she's about to talk to. Stephanie?
Yeah, guys, Sam Wittenberg from Virginia Beach. I just got in contact with him. Mr. Wittenberg, can you hear me?
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much for being with us. I understand that you crossed the finish line just moments before that explosion. Describe for us what you experienced, please.
Yeah, a friend of mine and I, Jim Duffy, we had come over, I would say, about somewhere in the 3 to 4 minute range before it happened. So we were well beyond and just heard this type of boom that, was not ordinary and was not normal. And so we turned towards the finish area, and you just saw billowing smoke. And turned back, and we were in the lines, getting medals or food or approaching the gear trucks to pick up our gear. And so we kept moving forward, and we were being instructed to move forward. And I turned around a second time and saw and heard the second explosion go off. And, again, more smoke than it would have been, a minor type of event. And the first couple things that went through my mind is, my God, I hope nobody's hurt. And number two is, boy, I just crossed this thing.
Wow.
And I mean, it's a sickening feeling. You do something like this. It's you run a race for personal pleasure. It's entirely a selfish type of activity, and at that point, you divert your thoughts away to hoping people are okay.
And what did you do? I mean, these thoughts, I'm sure, just kind of overcome you. You might be just stunned and just standing in place, but what did you do? Where did you go?
Well, we're stuck logistically. I hadn't yet gotten my gear, so I'm still in the minimal amount of clothing that I ran the race in, and I've got a Mylar blanket around me to try to keep warm. And I had about a 15-minute wait to get my gear bag from the gear truck. So we were still along the finish area is a street called Boylston Street. So we were still along the area and just had to wait, as, the volunteer crew were returning people's gear bags to them. We knew that things were not good because ordinarily at the end of a race like that, that area is going to continue to be crowded with more runners as they complete the race, and everything was thinning out. And, we were seeing the red flashing lights of, rescue vehicles around the finish area. You were hearing sirens all through the vicinity. And, all of us had just, figured that, yeah, obviously the necessary thing was to, stop the race at that point, and deal with the immediate situation. And it was obvious there were just no more people coming down through the finishers area. So once we got our gear, we were being appropriately ushered out by local police to, leave that area. At that point, we're right near the Boston Common, I had family calling me, and we couldn't return phone calls because the lines were overwhelmed.
Yeah, scary times. This is why it's so important, I think, too, that we're trying to get information out to the masses here about as many local runners as we can, because so many people are concerned. You've been in touch with several more local runners, and what have you heard?
Well, there was one person along the course that we passed. I can say her name so that, people know. Her name is Susan Hagel. And I know that she would have been far behind us and well in a range of safety when this happened. And I understand another gentleman, I heard you mention Running Etc. The staff at Running Etc. I called them earlier today to let them know, and they had said another runner, a local runner in the area, John Price, he was behind Susan. So I've not heard, as I've been texting people and responding to messages of concern, I have not heard any bad news regarding anybody from any of the Hampton Roads community.
Well, that's wonderful.
Thankfully.
Yeah, we're glad to hear everybody, hopefully, from the local area is physically safe. Although we know you're probably shaken up quite a bit emotionally this evening. We thank you so much for sharing your experience and your time with us. And please be safe getting home.
Okay, thank you very much.